Not taken from Winter 2013, but I looked at the Winter 2013 paper and I wrote a question that is kind of like the ones that came up. So this is not exactly like the questions that came up, but I'm interpreting what they were trying to do, and I wrote my own question. So we're going to take a look at the extent to which a rising exchange rate helps or harms an economy. And if you go back to Winter 2013, you should find this paper. The exchange rate is the rate at which one currency is valued in terms of another. A rise in exchange rate would indicate that a country's currency has appreciated in value in the foreign exchange market. So here, this is the beginning of L1 marks, demonstrating understanding of key concepts and definitions from the essay prompt. All right, and it continues. And now there's a gap between this paragraph and the next. And I would highly encourage you guys to do that too when you're writing. Obviously, I'm doing it when I'm typing, but when you're writing your essay, leave a gap. It indicates that you are going to begin a new thought, and it's clean, and it kind of guides the person who's writing or reading your essay towards giving you marks. You want to always guide them that direction. Don't make it difficult. If China's currency were to appreciate, 1 RMB would exchange for a greater amount of foreign currency than it previously traded for. For example, if 1 RMB used to be equal to 50 cents and can now buy $1, then the exchange rate for the RMB has risen. This can both help and hurt different groups both inside and outside of China. This one I'm going to give some L1 and some 2 of, not to L1 marks, demonstrating further understanding of a rise in the exchange rate. Firstly, a stronger yuan would mean that products made outside of China appear to be relatively cheaper. All right, so this is our first point to be explained and analyzed. This would benefit Chinese consumers who enjoy imported products, and this would also help foreign businesses who sell to Chinese consumers. All right, now we need to see why. For example, if a Chinese student planned on attending college in the United States and had budgeted $100,000 based on the previous exchange rate, they would now be able to exchange their funds for $200,000. This will have a great impact on Chinese consumption of foreign goods and services, surely to the benefit of foreign producers. Now, this is the analysis, so I'm going to put a mark here. L23 application and analysis of the point made regarding the appearance, or rather the relatively cheaper foreign goods and services, or foreign products. Now, the extent to which this will benefit the Chinese economy depends upon the benefit society gains from the consumption of foreign goods and services. This is L4. This is evaluation. Now, this is a good technique that I like to encourage students to use. Rather than waiting till the end of your essay to evaluate, make your point, analyze it, and then add some evaluation, like 1 or 2 sentences here, because it starts to earn you the marks. And then by the time you get to the final paragraph, you don't have to just like spit back all the points that you've written. You can either focus back on these evaluation points, link them together, or you can just write a little bit more of a brief evaluation than before because you started to earn the marks. So L4 evaluation, and I'm going to say this is L4, rather brief evaluation. Right? I would expect that there is more evaluation to come to get this to the higher level. Secondly, the stronger yuan would mean that products made within China appear to be relatively more expensive to foreign buyers. This can hurt a developing economy such as China's, as it has had a significant reliance on exports for boosting the country's economy. All right, here's our second point with an explanation. So second point regarding how an appreciation can harm an economy, specifically one like China's. This can hurt a developing economy. Okay, that's fine. The American consumer who used to be able to purchase a 5 yuan item with $2.50 now has to exchange $5 to make the same purchase. Now we're doing our L23, like explanation of the problem and some analysis. They are more likely to make the purchase elsewhere. Chinese export businesses would suffer and lose out to global competition. This would lead to a reduction of production within China and thereby decrease the need for labor. Rising unemployment would result, and for a country heavily dependent on exports, this would be quite detrimental to economic growth. All right, this is L3 analysis. And slight evaluation. And I say slight evaluation because it's right here. It says, and for a country heavily dependent on exports, this would be quite detrimental to economic growth. Okay, however, if exports have inelastic demand globally, the impact on the economy would be reduced. Trading partners would continue to buy from China if they are heavily reliant on their products. If the trend continues for the long term, demand is more elastic and the impact could be more severe. So this is a evaluation of the elasticity of demand for Chinese exports. The extent to which a rising exchange rate harms an economy is dependent on several factors. A small or short-term change in exchange rates will have less of an impact than a large or long-term change. In addition, if the country faces inelastic demand for its exports, then the impact is likely to be reduced. The ultimate impact will also depend on the extent to which the economy is dependent on the export market. If net exports compose a relatively smaller portion of aggregate demand, then the impact will be minimized. So I'm going to say this is strong evaluation. I think there's about 2 or 3 points, about 3 points of evaluation here. All right, the first one was the elasticity of demand. The second one was the size of the change, and the third one is the reliance of the economy on net exports for their overall level of aggregate demand. So 3 points of evaluation all explained. So what I'm going to say here, overall, this is a very well-written essay with exhibiting strength in application, analysis, and especially evaluation. If there is something lacking in this essay, I would have to say it is the analysis. Perhaps to strengthen this essay, incorporate diagrams of aggregate demand and potentially, let's see, I think aggregate demand would be okay. And overall marks, since we're looking at 12 mark essay out of 12, I would say lowest, this is a 10 out of 12, and that's being very harsh. Highest, 12 out of 12. I myself would say, I don't like to give 12 out of 12 to anything, so I'm going to give this 11 out of 12. I know a lot of you guys ask me, like, hey, can you show me a full marks essay? This might very well be a full mark essay. I just don't like to give perfect scores on anything. I always like to take a little bit off. Especially, even I wrote this essay, so I'm just telling you how it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm looking to put together a PDF pack of some essays, so look out for that. But in the meantime, happy studying and see you in the next video.